Good evening. It is so good to be here. We've had quite a day, and this morning we introduced the subject of NBN with a very good presentation by my colleague, Timothy Howard. So I understand that you were moving to introduce something like NBN in Korea, and we are here to help you. Now, the very first thing we need to understand is that NBN is about inclusion. It's not about excluding anyone, but including people. Traditionally, decisions have been made by a small number of people. Some leaders believe that they are elected or chosen to act on your behalf. NBN challenges that assumption by ensuring that everyone who wants to be involved can come to the table and make and arrive at the decisions. So that's what happened in Rochester over 20 years ago when I was elected mayor. We were a city that had lots of problems. We were losing population. Institutions weren't functioning as they were designed. For example, our schools were in very, very bad shape. So many people were voting with their feet. They were actually leaving to go to a better place. So we simply asked the question, why can't Rochester be a better place? Rather than running from the problem, why not stay and help solve the problem? So that's essentially a map of the city of Rochester. 39 square miles in a county of over 700 square miles. All around this city are other communities. We call them suburbs. They are outside of the city, but every area in this white space has other municipalities. This city, interesting and by design, up here is Lake Ontario, so the part of the city actually touches on Lake Ontario. Then a river, which you don't see on this map, the Genesee River, divides the city in half. Actually, it's one of the two rivers in the United States that flows from south to north. Now, just a quick note, this city is governed by one mayor and 9 city council people, 9 legislators. And so the city is really divided. We have what we call 5 at-large council people and 4 district council people. 2 of those district people are on this side of the river and 2 are on the other side. Now, why am I telling you this? Because these 10 sectors fit into that political system. And there are legitimately elected public officials who really govern all of this territory. So now, these residents who serve on these sector committees, and there's no law that says that there have to be equal number of representatives in each sector. Whoever volunteers can serve on any of these committees, particularly if they live in the sector. So you can't live down here in Sector 7 and go up here and be involved in Sector 1. Now, I met most of you in the room tonight, and you were identified to me as being activists in this community. So you live in Gumchan. You may work somewhere else in this city, but you live here. You come home every night to live in your community. Same is true in Rochester. Somebody can live here, work down here for Kodak, go back home at night and live here. So this is where we ask them to be concerned. How can you help to improve your neighborhood, and it was easier to divide up the city into these 10 neighborhoods or sectors. So why did we create this? And for these specific reasons. We wanted to create a way to obtain citizen input. We wanted to have residents of the community interact with the city administration to prioritize ideas and visions. Prioritize is the key word because you can't do everything you'd like to do. So through that, we were providing this framework that allowed people to come together and to negotiate, to debate, and to prioritize what were the best ideas for their particular neighborhood. Finally, I don't know if this word translates into Korea, but we needed to have this process because otherwise you have chaos if everybody's running around, each trying to assert. So we harnessed this involvement and everybody could see how it improved the city and the quality of life in the city. Now, all of this was taking place. It took us 2 or 3 years to get people to understand the process for working together. Finally, after that time, we came together and said, we need to take the energy. They had neighborhood plans, and they were talking about things that were best for that neighborhood. And so then we began to talk about the citywide plan. We called it Rochester 2010. And we said it would take us 12 years. And the primary beneficiaries were school-age children. At the time the plan was instituted, it was in 1998. Our public schools, the children go to school for 12 years, grade 1 through grade 12. Add 12 years to 98 comes to 2010. And we said that our community would be a better place for those children who started out in the first grade. And so, this plan identified 10 areas where we would focus our attention. And you can see the list. Educational excellence, improved health and safety in the community, improved neighborhoods, a better center city, downtown, better arts and culture. We have lots of arts and culture in our city, but they were all uncoordinated. So this is going to be a better design. All of these 10 areas are priority. None of them could be accomplished without involved citizens. And let me show you what we said. And I'll read this one to you because I think it's important. We wanted to engage the widest array of our citizens, all focused on improving the quality of life in our neighborhoods and communities. If you can read that, you will see that what it says is that you can have all of the dreams and the vision in the world, but if people don't come together and work for it, it can't happen. It can't be the mayor that makes it happen. It can't be the city council. It can't be the governor. It has to be the citizens. So that's how we proceeded. And this is a illustration of all of the things that came out of NBN. It's sort of like planting a garden, and this was the harvest. All of these various projects, and we can talk about those projects, but we became a healthier community because we had our citizens working together to work with government rather than against government to make things happen. So that's my presentation based on the perspective of government. Why was this important for the government to do these things? Now Timothy will tell you from a citizen's point of view. And let me, when we started this, he wasn't a city employee. He lived in a neighborhood, he was active in it, he was like you all. He was an activist in his neighborhood. He wanted his neighborhood to be a better place to live. And he worked with us as an activist to make his neighborhood better. And then he got so good at that, we hired him to come to work for us so he could help us with other neighborhoods.
Thank you. So, makes a meaningful demonstration.